Oh.
No, Steve.
Bro.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna sit here and
Yeah, just sit there and say hi. It's okay being a shy. There are plenty of shy people in the group too. Remember that. That was like one of the first things that.
Steve, you can be our like internal shy person.
Okay.
Yeah,
be your token shy person.
Yeah, you can be our token shy person.
Shy guy. No, but like I think you should also. I think you should speak to. Like I say a part about how the internet really inspired me to, like seek creating this kind of environment for creators. Like I think you should speak to how it's inspired you too. Like you craft all of our external communications and like our visual language and our design and I think that's important, man. Like you have a huge influence on the way we talk to everyone.
Right. All right. But I don't have anything planned, so it's gonna probably sound lame as fuck.
No, it's not.
No pressure.
It'll be fine.
Don't
think about it this way.
You want
think of the number of times I say something without fucking up. That number is probably as close to 0 as like mathematically possible.
Don't be so generous.
Yesterday Joe calls me and he's like, hey, how do you feel about, I forget what he was saying. He's like, how do you feel about this? I was like, I don't know, I'm walking home. I'll call you in 30 minutes. We'll talk about it. And so we're walking, carrying like a shit ton of like things from Crate and Barrel. And he just starts blowing up my phone with questions while I told him that like my hands are full. And he's like, sorry, I just had to get these questions out to you real quick. I was like, I didn't even respond and you made the decision. Oh no. How's that? Is this spreadsheet? Nose goes.
What?
Have you never heard of nose goes?
Can I do that?
I had a dream about this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Put on my thinking hat. Steve, I think we should order those robes, man. I think the robes are cooler than the flight suits, personally.
I don't know. They're not as practical.
I know, but like, what are you going to use the flight suit for?
I honestly could have used it 3 days ago when it was 5 degrees here. Probably even more.
It's like, at least with a robe, we can be like casting spells on people and it won't look ridiculous.
I think both look equally ridiculous.
All right.
So I befriended the guy at the store manager at Aesop, the Aesop store.
Yeah.
And he's like an anime illustrator. Like he's an illustrator and like kind of some design work for a gaming company freelancer. And so, dude, he hooked it up with like a fat bag of just like sample. I was like, yeah, dude, our studio is like right down the street. Like, swing by, hang out, come check out Universe. And he's like, oh yeah, I will. And he just texted me. He's like, hey, hope you're doing well. I'd love to swing by. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get ourselves an Aesop discount.
How do we see who is watching? Does anyone know?
Yeah, this is a little weird because like it still looks like a Google Hangout, right? But it's live.
Well, if you go to the here I see. If you go to the YouTube page,
Mhm.
you can
But you
watch.
gotta mute that.
Yeah, I muted it.
Yeah, I did that too, but it's like on a significant delay. Kind of weird.
Yes, it's on delay. Do we want to send a note that we're
Yeah,
getting started?
I'm about to.
Cool. It's 3.
I mean, there are 3 people watching. Right? Oh, that's probably us 3, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Let's see. 5. Oh, wow. People are just popping in. That's kind of cool. I wonder if people signed up for the reminders.
If you go to participants, though, it just shows us. That might be the participants for the chat.
Let me put it into the. Oh, man. Everything on Instagram feels like an ad now.
Well, it is an ad.
It's like this weird. Don't know how to copy and paste. We're in Hangout if anyone is around. Cool.
All right.
Do we have to press something special to record?
No, we're recording. I mean, we're broadcasting right now.
I know, but does it record?
YouTube Live should record automatically. Yeah.
Where do people chat? Hey, if you guys can see this, can you chat and say something in this live stream chat? Anyone? Or let's see if. Hello. Yeah, Chris. Woo! Oh yeah, we should probably share it with the rest of the team too.
Yeah, I was going to do that now.
Yeah, what's up? How's it going? That's super cool. Man, the internet is actually pretty awesome. Wait, Joe, did you mute your Hangout? Don't mute the Hangout. Mute the YouTube one.
I did that.
Okay, now I'm just living in my real life version of hell. There's 2 of you on my screen instead of 1.
I know, it's torture.
Yeah, hey, this is really cool. So everyone watching the stream, where is it? Chris Garver in the chat is actually one of our iOS engineers. He is a musician first, an artist second, a lover third, and then probably an engineer fourth. So he's still good at his job, but he's also good at other things.
Should we kick off?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, we got 6 people in here. Let's get going, and we'll just share the recording with the group.
Sweet. All right, Horace, it's all you.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time to join us today. If you're watching this later, taking the time to watch it afterwards. Really excited to kind of kick this off. If you've been paying attention, our man Steve here has so graciously been teasing the idea of something big in the works. So hats off to Steve for making that happen for us. But the real reason we're here today is kind of to kick off something that has been in the back of our minds since Universe began, actually, and up until recently, we just began working working towards making a lot of our ideas around creating a community around people on the internet. Sorry, let me turn off my notifications real quick. People on the internet come together and create a space where we can just have some fun and really bring back the elements to creating stuff on the web that really has nothing to doesn't really need to have a purpose. It's just about having fun. And so for many of you, I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you guys in person, having one-on-one conversations with you, and it really just kind of came down to this idea that there should be a place where all of us can get together, and it shouldn't have to be me communicating with all of you. There should be a chance for all of you to connect with one another as well without me being there. And when I joined Universe, or prior to joining Universe, I guess I took a huge amount of influence from the internet. Me coming from like a non-traditional tech background, I always turned to the web to kind of find a new way forward. And when I discovered Universe, it was really the idea of bringing people together from around the web that got me really excited about working here. Kind of making a space where you can take all these ideas, take all this energy, and bring it all in one space to make something magical, to be honest. And it's why we're here today. We want to kind of take this opportunity to build a bridge between the internet and the people who build it. And not only for this to manifest inside of our app, but also outside of it. So you could be walking down the street, or you could be traveling somewhere, and you could potentially have the opportunity to meet someone that you've been connected to for a really long time. It's really connections like that I think make communities and even the internet so magical. So that's from the external, outside of the Universe side of things, outside the app, that is. Joe's going to speak a little bit more to what we've actually been working on and what we're kind of really stoked to take the cover off of, pull the curtains.
I think take the lid off of.
Pull the curtain off of.
Open the can.
Oh, pop the curtain on the can.
With the curtain.
With the curtain. We're gonna pop it off.
Horace is really smooth, as you can tell.
I'm really good with words.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is just the beginning, actually. Before I actually hand it off to Joe, I kind of want to reinforce this. It's like there are hundreds of thousands of creators on Universe today. It started with a handful of people, grew into something big. People are using it for their businesses. People are using it as their portfolios, as just an outlet for their minds. And there are 30 of you in this group today that have gone above and beyond to share your thoughts with us, connect with us, and do some really incredible things with your sites that have kind of led to this moment right here. So hats off to you guys for kind of being the inspiration behind this. And I'm gonna let Joe take it from here. By the way, Steve is also here. I want to let everyone know Steve is here. He's very shy.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. And Steve also took a great deal of influence from the web that made him the incredible designer that he is. He doesn't really speak out much, but he has a lot of incredible things to say about his take on the web, and not only just Christopher Garber.
Hey, Chris.
Actually, hold on. I don't want to speak on behalf of people. Steve, introduce yourself. Chris, you should introduce yourself too.
What's up, everyone? I'm Steve.
What up?
Just want to say one thing. I didn't join Universe because of our product, because of our tool, because of any particular person on the team. I actually joined mainly because I was incredibly inspired by looking at the sites that people were creating. I mean, it reminds me of the way the web was when I was growing up, just a bunch of really cool, interesting people making their own worlds and doing their own thing instead of, being beholden to behemoths like Facebook. So in fewer words, I'm here for all of you because of all of you.
Hell yeah.
Aww. It's the nicest thing Steve has ever said.
Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
Chris.
Can you hear us? No, he's watching the YouTube stream.
Very good. How's it going?
What's up, man? How's your weekend been?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a delay.
Are you watching on
Here and there.
YouTube? Or through the Hangout?
Maybe I should turn off the YouTube. Hold
Yeah.
on.
That'd be a good idea. Good place to start.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris.
Hold on.
This was all planned, by the way. You can tell we're a very sort of orchestrated group.
Precision.
Yeah.
Execution. Laser. These are words that come to mind when I think about.
Chris, tell us when you're online.
All right, I think I'm good now.
Hey, man, how's it going?
Good, good, good.
Where in the world are you?
I am in Texas, just outside of Dallas.
What do you got behind you there?
Oh, this is all sorts of stuff. This is my dungeon/office.
Beat Laboratory.
But I've got a Euro rack set up here, bunch of random cables, an old amp, tape machine, and an assorted amount of MIDI controllers back there.
That's sick. You put your OP1 on an iPad stand or a laptop
Yeah, I
stand.
wasn't really using the stand anymore with the new iPad Folio thing. That's like a perfect elevation for that.
That's sick. Why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
All right, my name is Chris. I'm one of the iOS developers at Universe. Kind of like Horace said before, I think at my core, I'm a musician and a writer and all-around artist. But about 4.5 years ago, I got randomly sucked into iOS development, and it became, like a tertiary obsession of mine.
Cool.
And even cooler, so Chris actually worked in a bookstore for like 8 years or something like that, right?
15 years.
15 years. Holy smokes.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
one of
more than the
the.
total amount of time I have dedicated to anything, ever.
Well, I was, at the time it was bookstore during the day and cool musician at night, I guess.
Very cool.
All right.
So as you guys can see, we're kind of we're a little tribe of strangers that kind of all came together because of the internet as well. I met Joe through the web. Chris found us on the web. I'm not quite sure how did Steve find you on like Twitter or something? Or how did you find Steve?
Steve found us.
Steve found us. So poetic. Yeah, so I mean, welcome to the family, everyone. This is really cool.
Cool. So let me dive in and talk a little bit about what we've got in the oven. So this is something we've been thinking about since Universe was just an idea, and we've been building on since the start of this year. But the high level is, up until now, Universe has been a tool, a single player experience, if you will. The easiest way, the best way, the most creative way to make a website. But the vision for Universe has always been not just about creating, but also exploring and connecting with other people, other creators, exchanging ideas, exchanging work. Because we found that the greatest inspiration often comes from interacting with others. When you make a site, you want an audience. You want people to engage with what you're doing. And like the best ideas come from the weirdest places. You can tell with this random group of people assembled here today. So we're sort of at the point where it's time to evolve Universe from a single player tool to a multiplayer network, a community of people who are collaborating and exchanging and interacting, and really to move from not just being a new kind of website builder, but imagine a new kind of web entirely, a new kind of network. What does that even mean? What does it mean for Universe to evolve from just a tool to a network? Well, it means
like an email forwarding list.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it means that Universe is going to become a place to see what other people create, to connect, to engage, a place like we have on the rest of the web. And this is a really big idea, right? Like, what does it mean to build a new web? But we're going to start very small, and we're going to start bit by bit, the way that we build everything. So we built our creation tool, which is really powerful, with weekly updates. It started out as a single landing page builder that your sites didn't scroll. You can only add text and photos to your sites. But over time, we've grown that out to be this really full-featured editor and creation tool. And we're going to approach the exploration side of Universe in the same way. We are going to build this new web iteratively, week by week. And most importantly, we're going to build it with you. So we're going to be listening and engaging and figuring out what this network should be like. We don't want to just foist this whole thing with comments and likes and all that stuff. We want to allow this thing to evolve organically as we use it, as we interact. So we're going to be starting with the basics. This week, we are going to launch a feed inside of Universe. And the feed will allow you to see all of the updates from the sites that you follow. So when someone creates a new page or edits their site, it will show up in a new feed. It's really beautiful. And this is just the first step. So week over week, we're going to be adding to this network and extending what's possible. So like I said, no likes, no comments. It's really small. The whole idea here is that we're not going to build this on our own. We're going to build this with you. I think that's like a really cool idea. It's never been done before. Usually the way these tools work is someone builds a thing, and they foist it upon people, and then either works or it doesn't work. But we want to build it with you. And we think that that could evolve into something that's a lot more interesting than it would have been if we had conceived of the whole thing and just sort of foisted it on you. And so we're going to be, like I said, shipping a lot, but we're going to be extending this conversation. You can consider this the start of a conversation.
And that's kind of what the group is for too.
Exactly.
Not only just about moving the product forward, but all of these ideas, all this energy that you guys bring to us is going to help push this forward. So it shouldn't be, I guess, it shouldn't be us kind of provoking any kind of thought. It should be us hopping into your guys' conversations around what's working, what's not, what you'd like to see, and us more being observers than participators, I guess. But we're going to participate.
Yeah, like the way we see it is that like the world in 2019 is very different than the world in 2010 or 2015. And we believe that it's time for a new kind of network that isn't powered by ads, that isn't homogenous, that celebrates everyone's diversity and creativity, that isn't incentivized to take your time just for the sake of selling your time, but is actually meant to empower you, to inspire you. We think that that web, that world is possible. And we're trying to build a network, a community that turns the web into a community. And that's never really been done before. And so we're starting with connecting you to other creators. This is a creator network, and it's going to blossom from there. We're just at the beginning, and we're going to be building this thing together. This is the first chapter in a much larger and longer story, and we can't wait to see where it goes. So this week we'll be shipping the feed. We want to see and hear from you, so let us know what you think, and we'll be updating very frequently and sort of provoking and starting the conversation outside of the app as well.
Yeah, and to add to that, we're actually going to we're going to release this quietly, and I'll follow up with a bunch of details around the release for this. The whole point of sharing this with you guys is because we think it's really important that we make you a part of celebrating us releasing this. So I'll follow up with kind of details around what we're going to be sharing, how we're going to share it, how you guys can get involved, and open the floor for any kind of suggestions on how you guys think we can really make this thing splash. The Explore section has been inside of the app for quite some time, and it's gone untouched. So this is really kind of going to sneak in there, because the whole feed that we're adding is in that realm of the app. And so when you guys see it, when you guys feel it, it'll be really exciting to have you be a part of us sharing it with the world. I think it's going to make it that much special, that much more special.
Does anybody have any questions for us? I'll let you ask. In the meantime, I'll let you ask some questions. But you know, one of the things I also want to stress is that we don't see Universe as just a way to help you make a website. We think about it as a way to help you express yourself, share your craft, share your world, manifest your ideas, grow your audience, grow your business. Like, that's sort of the role that we want to play, because in general, we believe that the world is more interesting and more inspiring when everybody is contributing. And that's the core idea behind what we're doing, right? So share with us. Let us know what you think. Let us know how we could be doing better. And this network, this new web, is really an effort to do that. It's to say, hey, look, we've created this really good tool, but let's actually connect the dots here. Let's connect the dots between the people involved. And that interaction is where the magic happens. So we've got some questions.
Hey, what's up, Abel?
So someone asked, what is it? So like a social network. It is a social network, but it's a new kind of social network. One that is about sort of decentralizing creativity, and it's not powered by ads. It's meant to help you. It's meant to inspire you. It's meant to allow for the exchange of ideas. And it's going to start really small with Feed, but it's going to evolve and become something a lot richer.
Yeah, so I mean, to add to that, if you've ever looked at the Explore section, you've always been able to follow someone, but following someone never really translated to anything inside the app. So now when you follow people, there's a reason to. That feed is actually a continuation to the original idea of making it possible to stay up to speed with, or not stay up to speed, but stay in touch and stay in tune with the sites that inspire you, the creators that inspire you. There's mention of like a social network. It's really not a social network. I think something that's kind of abstract and maybe a little too like, it may be a little too much hoorah, but there's the greatest network out there is the internet, basically. And Universe lets you create websites, which is basically your piece of land on the internet. So what we're actually just doing is creating roads. We're just creating ways for people to continue to own their land and build on their land and do whatever it is that they want to do, but make it so that you can discover your neighbors. You can make new friends. In some capacity, that is social, but there are people who build businesses on the web too. Maybe the idea of creating an online store will take shape in a whole new way when you can meet a whole bunch of businesses that are creating stores with you. The same can be said for creating connections between, say, an illustrator and a musician. In our group chat just yesterday, we were talking about making album artwork just like that, right? We have a musician and a media arts student, and all of a sudden we've got playlists in the works. So there really is no prescribed outcome to what we're trying to achieve with this. The real thing is to provide the opportunity for these little magical moments to happen.
Yeah, and so one way of thinking about it is like, imagine if a network, a social network, if you will, wasn't about these cookie cutter profiles, but every person had their own unique site, and you could follow that site and get updated every time that thing is updated. That would be a lot more interesting. And we believe that that's actually the future of the internet, that the future of the internet is not one where everybody looks identical, but rather one that allows people to be who they uniquely are, whether they're a business or an artist or just a teenager in their bedroom.
Yeah, that's kind of what, all that nostalgia around like, oh man, I miss the MySpace days. I miss Tumblr. I miss old Tumblr, or all these little artifacts of the independent and creative web. It's exactly that, right? It's not like everyone on MySpace was customizing their profiles, but the idea of having the ability to do that is what made it so special. MySpace itself, I don't think it was that magical, but the fact that you had this kind of control over your own little space made it that great.
Yeah, and it's not, the idea is not nostalgia, right? Like what we're saying really is that as the internet has matured, it's lost its individuality. It's lost the fact that people build it themselves. And a large part of that is, when the internet shifted to mobile, it got a lot harder to build things on your phone. And one of the reasons why I started Universe was to change that, to make it that the people who are using the internet can actually build the internet. And so now it's about saying, okay, well, we have hundreds of thousands of people building the internet with Universe. Let's connect them to each other because this could be really interesting. And so, yeah, like Horace was saying, I think the metaphor of roads and connections is really what this is about. And, think about it for a second. Instagram, which started out as a really cool product, in the beginning was just about making pictures with filters on them. And you wouldn't actually in the beginning share those pictures on Instagram because there was no one there. So it was really a tool. It was a way of sharing your pictures outside, but it was a tool that made that easier. And then what people realized was that, hey, there's a lot of really interesting people making pictures with Instagram. So why don't we make a feed and connect them? And so that's sort of that's not something that just Instagram did. That's what Vine did. That's what Twitter was. And so there is a precedent here. We're going to do this in a new way. The big difference is that most of those networks are closed. Like I said, the profiles are profiles, but our network is open-ended. The idea is that each person, each website is unique and can be whatever it is, but they're all connected with the same wires, so to speak.
Yeah, and something. So to add to that, to kind of tie it back to our launch coming up this week, we're not controlling this feed. Just so you guys know, you have complete control over your ability to curate and follow one another, just like you would follow one another on any other platform, right? You get to decide what is of interest to you and how you want to create this world for yourself inside the app. 1 second, let me see. Building my road, and I hope some people go travel down. Exactly.
Hey, Chris and Steve, do you have anything you wanted to add? Okay. Well, one of the things also that we're going to be doing is more of this, just raw conversation. So we'll be streaming pretty often, just ambiently. And again, we want to make something special. There's a lot of energy here, and we think that
most importantly, we just want to have fun. I don't want to do this if we're not having fun. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah, I really want to have fun with this. We've got this beautiful open space in San Francisco now. We have a studio in New York City. If you guys are ever in the area, please do hit us up and come hang out with us. And when we do come online, you guys, take the wheel. What do you guys want to see? What can we do to have more fun with this? Inside the actual feed itself, this is probably my favorite thing. We have this chat on Instagram, but we wanted to find a way to connect all of you through the app too. So we created a section inside of the app. There's a category among hundreds of thousands of sites on Universe. Inside the Explore section, you will now see a category that says Collective, and you'll be able to find all the sites for the people who are part of this group. So
you can think about it as like the Explore, there's two main tabs in Universe. There's Create and there's Explore. And there are a few different parts of the Explore section. So the first part is Discover, and that's like a gallery of all the awesome sites created. And like Hara said, all of you are actually going to be featured on that page, so that all the thousands of people who come into Universe are going to be able to see your sites and follow it. So that means your audience is going to grow significantly. And then there's a new tab within the Explore section. That's the feed, the following section. And over time, we're actually going to add other sections to Explore as we flesh it out.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty rad. I've been kind of geeking out about it all week, but once you guys actually feel it in your hands, it's pretty great to see your own site amongst many kind of just showcase. It's pretty cool. I'm really excited for you guys to see it.
And just finally, like, I think Steve alluded to this in the beginning, but really Universe isn't and has never been about a specific product. It's been about an idea that everybody everyone is unique and can represent that on the internet. And this is another step in that direction. This is going to make that clear, right? This is going to connect the dots, and we think that it's going to open up, the whole idea of the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. When you take
So beautiful.
when 2 + 2 is more than 4. That's what happens when people get together, that alchemy. And that's what we're kicking off here. So stay tuned. We'll let you know exactly when it goes live. And there's a lot more to come.
Yes, there's a lot more to come. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll ask one more time. Does anyone have any questions? Anything else we can clarify or shed a little bit of light on?
We're not going to show a preview just yet.
I wanted to, just to be clear. This isn't my decision. All right. Well, it's Super Bowl Sunday. I hope all of you enjoy watching football. And we will catch you. Look out for a message from me. If you have any questions, we have our little group, so feel free to reach out. Let's get this going. Have a great rest of your weekend, everyone, and we'll be in touch.
Peace out, guys.